while we waiting on for her to get in, I just saw Spore again at the
Yeah.
theaters, at the DX. I think they call it digital thing. It's got surround sound. That movie is so fucking amazing. That airport scene.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh,
That,
dude, there are
oh.
some other scenes that airport scene is great, but some of the other ones that stand out are the ones that no one talks about. But I do have a few little things I want to mention.
Alan, you go first, man.
Okay. To start off, I enjoyed the hell of it. I saw it twice. The only thing I didn't, because it's something small I want to get out of the way, I wasn't a huge fan of Black Panther.
What?
Well, let me continue. I just felt he wasn't in the movie that much. Because you meet him first at the UN. Shit happens. He becomes Black Panther, and all I know about him is he's filled with vengeance, and his favorite movie is Terminator 2.
Well, you know that they're actually making a movie with him, right?
Yeah, but it's like, as of right now, all we know, again, his favorite movie is Terminator 2, because his first action scene, he reenacts his favorite scene in Terminator 2, which is hanging on the back of a car with his claws as they drive through the tunnel. That's all I could think of during that scene. My problem with Black Panther is, like, I just wish, there's so much in the movie, so it's kind of really a small thing that they didn't really give him much. Like, he shows up in every action scene, even at the end, and he was great in the action scenes, but it's like, what do we really know about him besides he's the king of Wakanda and he has a cool suit? Like, that's...
Well, I think that's the idea, though, that they teased us just enough to want to see a movie with him.
We knew more about Spider-Man, and we got more about Spider-Man. Even if you've never heard of Spider-Man, we got more in even less time, actually, than Black Panther. Even if you had no idea who Spider-Man was, you got more about that character than Black Panther, because, again, what do we know about Black Panther?
Well, because we already know Spider-Man's origin story.
No, like I said, even if you take out the pre-knowledge, there is still more about the Spider-Man Peter Parker character than we know about Black Panther. All we know about Black Panther is he's the king of Africa, and he's filled with vengeance, and then deals with it at the end.
But he will get his own movie later.
Oh yeah, no, I'm excited for it. It's just I felt that there was so much in this movie that if he was not in this movie, I don't think the movie would have lost anything.
Because
he's getting his own movie.
I know.
No, he'll get that.
Even
Alan, I got you. No, to the degree when you said Spider-Man did get a little bit more development, the movie literally did kind of stop to be like, Spider-Man's in this movie.
I know, but it's like, they
didn't do that with Black Panther. So
I don't think it should have, but it's like, again, besides the fact that he's filled with vengeance and he's a king, if he was just a random guy that was talking to Black Widow, what would we have known about him? If the movie ended right there and they just showed him, we would have known nothing.
But in my defense, in the defense of that, Chadwick Boseman was awesome as that character.
That character. I want to ask you, do y'all think this villain is the strongest villain out of the whole cinematic universe this far?
Yes, Mr. No Name was really strong.
Mr. No Name.
Oh my God.
His name is Helmut Zemo.
I know, but and that's fine. Like his plan was beautiful and it was executed great, but I would have rather like a more well-known villain, kind of like someone that you can be like, that guy.
Goyles makes actually a very good point. He said Black Panther is the main person trying to kill Bucky. If it wasn't for him, Bucky would never have a reason to run. He would never be on the run the whole movie.
But he was running before he even knew Black Panther was a thing.
The government was after him.
Yeah.
Fucking Christ.
Or the UN.
So. It was when the Germany like busts through and they go onto the rooftop. That's when he shows up. The fight's already going down.
I love the movie. I do think that Spider-Man was shoehorned in a little bit because, like you said, the movie does stop to show, hey guys, look who we got the rights to. But I thought that what's the kid's name who's playing him?
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland did a really great job. I thought he had the perfect balance of the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man part as well as a little bit of Tobey Maguire, but not the whiny part of him, but like the really like geeky kind of like warmth of that Tobey Maguire kind of had, and also the Spider-Man movies. I thought Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies were very warm, and like this feels like home in a way, like, oh, this is great. So I thought that everything with the Spider-Man was really great, and I was kind of skeptical about Marisa Tomei being the aunt, but it actually kind of makes sense because he's so young. Why would his aunt be like almost a grandmother, right? And I like that also they weren't really poor or anything. Like they had a really nice apartment in Queens. It wasn't like he was striving to. Although that's more when he's on his own. But no, that's a nice apartment in New York.
And he's dumpster diving too, so it's like clearly they don't have a lot of money.
That's a really good apartment. That apartment cost probably a good amount of money. Yeah, that apartment was spacious. It was modern. But anyway.
New York,
Yeah, from New York, definitely. You know, me knowing the pricing and everything, it's crazy. But
No, I thought it was interesting though, just to make us that point that Spider-Man. I don't even know if they went that route before, but they was saying he wore those goggles to focus because there's so much input.
They never
Yeah.
talked about it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they
like
just
that
mentioned
seems
that
interesting.
once, and
I
I'm sure they're gonna explain that more in the
Yeah,
in his own
I'm,
movie.
I'm glad they made him make his own webs.
yeah.
Like that was one of the things that bugged me about the first Amazing Spider-Man, that he went and bought them all from Oscorp, like on sale or something.
It was like with Amazing Spider-Man. It was going off the freaking. Oh well, my parents were coincidentally working on some web shooters, and I coincidentally went into this store, and that coincidentally got bit by a spider, and now I
Yeah.
can, use these things, and like even though they did that in the comic book, it just I never bought that, so I like the fact
Yeah.
that he was like that, because in the '90s cartoon they actually brought up an episode he was explaining to a little girl who had cancer.
Oh,
how
yeah,
he
yeah,
used
yeah, I
his
remember
web
that.
shooters, and he was like saying like the spider passed on like an instinctive DNA of what like the chemicals to fuse together to make like a sting, and he explained it. So
Yeah, no, Spider-Man in this movie for like 30 minutes or 20 minutes, he's a better representation than the entirety of Amazing Spider-Man 1 or 2.
So what was your impressions? I don't think we got your impressions.
I fucking loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I want more of it.
Mm-hmm.
I will not stop until I get more of it. I like Bucky and Steve's friendship. I feel like that they could, it could be more developed.
Yeah, I never got a sense of that really, like that kinship almost.
They did that in the first Avenger movie. They had
That
it.
was so long ago.
Part of it
though.
was them being friends.
That was so long ago. Most people probably didn't even see that movie. You know,
What,
they
you-
have
what,
to
what,
establish
They
it.
put him previously on Captain America, like at the start of the movie.
This is
A
actually,
flashback.
You know,
this is actually a good point because, like, compared to the other films, this film really expects you to have known the other movies going in. Like,
It does.
especially,
Yeah.
yeah, because I think that's the thing. Like, that's a fair comment to make that it doesn't really establish their connection in the film, but it expects that you've already built connection through Winter Soldier and First Avenger.
right.
A
Mm-hmm.
flashback. I feel like a flashback would have done that for us, in case for people who don't remember the first one.
Well, what about the Winter Soldier? Like, even if you don't want to go back as fast as for Adventure, they still had some sort of. You saw Steve struggle in the Winter Soldier of how much he cared for Bucky.
I
But not-
never even got the connection in the Winter Soldier with those two. I don't feel. You need to really feel like Steve Rogers and Bucky are really like, okay, I can understand why he's fighting for him. He's such a good friend and stuff. I never really got that. And also, I think it's a little bit with the charisma of the actual actor as well. 'Cause I didn't really feel it either. I mean, Sebastian Stan's fine, but I just don't think that, like, he's really all that likable.
You understand that they are friends and they go back way back.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, and
That's 70 years.
yeah, like you understand that Steve, he knows that the real Bucky is still in there.
And something that Steve says, like early in the movie at the funeral of Peggy Carter, it's like he mentions, Peggy is the only person he knew when he kind of woke up. Bucky's that too. Bucky's the only person he has from 70 years ago. Everyone else to him is a stranger, even the Avengers. So.
That totally
Yeah.
made sense to me too. Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, no, I love their chemistry. I love the dichotomy as well between Tony and.
I mean, that one line where he was talking about, he was like, yeah, you remember that we was like ride that truck back on the,
Oh, yeah. Love
the
that
ice
scene.
truck. He was like, you spent all your money for that redhead. He was like, what was her name? Delilah. So
or something
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Dottie.
Was it the?
I will say,
They made a connection from the from Agent Carter.
Yeah.
Oh right.
I will
Yeah.
say that the moment when Steve is kissing,
Oh yeah.
what's her name?
Karen.
Yeah.
Sharon.
Young
When he's
Peggy.
kissing her, and then you see the Falcon and Bucky are just
Oh
like,
yeah.
you're like,
No, that's so
yeah.
funny.
Did you move your seat
Nice.
up? No.
They were like my
Yeah.
my nigga. From what they said before the film was released, this was the last Cat movie. And it pissed me off that I felt like that this was not a Cat movie. This was fucking Avengers / Iron Man.
I disagree with that. It says Captain America, but it felt like Avengers. Just without Thor and Hulk.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been.
Ellie,
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
I feel like it's more that Captain America is the fulcrum of the themes. Like he's
Yeah.
less the dominant star, but that everything revolves around Captain America in this movie.
I was expecting the focus to be more on him and not on Tony's fucking guilt about his the fact that Bucky killed your fucking parents. It felt too much like the focus on Tony and everyone else and the goddamn Sokovia Accords. I think that someone actually went through and saw inside the time who had more screen time, and someone said that Robert Downey Jr. had more. Oops.
Yeah.
But he did have them over a barrel. He demanded more screen time. He demanded more money, and they gave it to him because they felt like, well, we can't do the storyline without him.
You chose the wrong side.